I'm Arvin Bedoni. I'm Big Mountain Resistor right here. And I'm Homeland Security right here.
He wants to get on the film real good.
Yeah. I'm telling who I am. It's true.
You can imagine that how we're sitting in this hogan right now, the landscape is perceived in the same way. The East Sacred Mountain, the South, the West, and the North. And those are the pillars of our home, a huge hogan. It's our universe, meaning that when we sit in this hogan, it reflects that landscape or that cosmology in such a way where this dirt is the earth. That's why you have a dirt hogan. And the ceiling is your sky. So when you're in ceremony, like if we were having a ceremony in this hogan, the men would sit on this side, the female would sit on this side. And you always have a central fire, which has a lot of meaning that goes up into the smoke hole. So when people are in ceremony and doing prayers and smoking their tobacco pipe or burning whatever, it's going through, you know, the ceiling and sending it up to the creation. People here in my community saw this landscape as very sacred. It's something about their spiritual being that's connected here. Their cultural teachings connect them here. Their history of being present on this land connected them here. They have certain places in this little landscape, in the area that they live, where families will make offerings. We used to have a lot of springs around, which is no longer present. And we blame that all on Peabody pumping the Navajo aquifer for many years to slur coal, you know, to wet their roads. My mother, Katherine Smith, she passed away like about 2 years ago at 103 years old. And she was, excuse me, I don't want to get emotional, but that was her house over there. And she had this hogan built, even though that this Bennett-Freeze law was a part of the law that relocated people. A lot of people did that. They did that in their resistance because a hogan is a ceremonial place. A lot of our elders, you know, they showed us, I guess they modeled for us, you know, how important it was to be here, to continue having things like a sheep herd. Like, how do you take care of your land base? Those are all responsibilities that pertain to what the natural law tells us of how we should live. So those were the things that were important for the people, and that is why they resisted. I just want to say on our behalf that I am very thankful for the people who contributed to this project in fundraising, and that you are all here on this land to provide water tanks and to create things like rain harvesting. It contributes, you know, to their ongoing, you know, the ability to continue, because now we deal with droughts here as a part of climate change that we're experiencing. Last year we had no water whatsoever. We didn't have any snow. We had to do a lot of water hauling.
This is our collection roof off the sheep corral to collect more rainwater, and also to provide more space for the sheep in the wintertime. We've expanded the roof. Now with every inch of rain on this roof, we're going to be collecting 200 gallons of fresh rainwater into our tank. 10 inches of rain per year, that's going to become 2,000 gallons of fresh, clean rainwater from the sky that's going to be able to feed Marie and Arvin's sheep.
This roof right here was built and designed at an angle so that it'll catch the rainwater that comes down, and that's going to flow down, and this pipe was created into a gutter to collect the rainwater, and it is also at an angle. This is the lowest point.
It's the water from the collector here, and it goes down into this 660 gallon tank. In order to connect them, here we've built a box, and this box is insulated because we are in a cold climate.
So as these tanks are filling up with the rainwater, there is a overflow valve that is necessary. The water will come down this pipe and exits away from the structure. You don't want to disturb the foundation.
This project turned into sort of a vision of how we see the land, returning the land to revitalization by bringing the water back. We know that when we can harvest the water or plant the water into the landscape, by slowing it down, spreading it out, and sinking it back into the ground, then we can really revitalize the landscape and bring back the springs that Marie and her mother, Katherine Smith, remember used to run here before Peabody Coal.
I first heard about what was going on here at Black Mesa when I got back from Standing Rock, and I really wanted to come out here, and I stayed for 6 weeks with Arvin and Marie sheep herding, and it taught me a lot about what's going on here and their daily lives and how hard it is. I grew up in Los Angeles, and realizing that the electricity and the air conditioning that I used growing up came from this land, from the coal that was mined to power for my convenience. So I feel coming back here is a way to try to make it right.
Being well aware of many of the damages that the political situation has been done to the Dene people, it seemed like to find a group of people that were going out into the world to do some hands-on action was something that, rather than rant about the political situation on the internet, this was an opportunity to actually do something. So that's what brought me here.
This is divine. Everything that has happened in the last 6 months has been divine. And I'm just really excited for future endeavors and future journeys here.
It's been really inspirational to just connect back to the basics, the root, the mother, and yeah, it's not easy, but it's the most rewarding. Just want to keep that celebration going, keep that dance going forward. Yeah.
It's not so easy to build things out here, so in that way it's very much appreciated that folks like Matt went and, I don't know what you did, Matt. Did you tear down a barn?
A little bit.
Okay, so, but you know, the materials that you were able to get it's hard to get even around here, so it's appreciated, you know. And the people that put all the work to fundraise, I know you retired sometimes, I know you didn't know if you were going to meet your goal, you know, and then the people who were passionate to help, all those folks, and Megan and Brennan, you know, jump on board and to be willing to come out and help with this project. All those things, you know, are very much appreciated, and that's what it takes in any kind of building, I think, is that for people to help, and we hope we can learn through this process of how you do these things, and eventually, you know, we have dreams of being able to help other people.
What was your favorite part of this trip? What kind of people should be invited to this trip?
Okay, both questions I'm gonna answer. I loved all the learning, all the growth, and things I'd never done before in my life, except for the weeds. Took out a lot of weeds. And the kind of person, someone who's open-minded and open-hearted and willing to work their butts up. That's it.
Eating together, cooking together, like being the same space, sharing the same space, learning, maybe sheep shearing was the favorite because I felt I was pretty good at it and it came kind of natural. I would say people with some skills. I could list a bunch of stuff, but I would just say anybody with the willingness to work, like come with that attitude, because it is a service project and you will be put to work. They call it the Katherine Smith Camp. And so we're here about 5 days.
Whoa, there's like a tornado behind
Pray
you.
for rain and look at show them that cloud.
All these clouds that have come in recently.
We've been praying for rain these last few days. So we all felt the drop right now, and it's our way out, which is perfect, so we don't get stuck in the mud or something. So we're grateful for that.
Just want to go ahead and say one final thing. The sheep, the elders, the Katherine Smith Project are very thankful for all of you, our supporters, in providing these amazing tanks for them. And just a huge thank you. Water is life!
And I don't, when I don't, when I don't know.